Hello and welcome to round number 3 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup for 2025. We're in Papendal in the Netherlands and the sun is blazing down on what has proved to be a tricky and tough track for a number of competitors here today, with quite a lot of riders not managing to make it through the previous round. Some of the riders not making it to the track, some are having some very protracted journeys to get here. Fortunately, Rich Eames and myself, we are here and in the same place. We're in the beautiful city of Arnhem. We're in Papendal, just at the edge of what is an incredible area of the Netherlands. Water being a feature of the Netherlands, a vast proportion of the land being actually reclaimed from the sea, a scene with so much history. It's been a battlefield across the centuries, notably, of course, the famous Bridge to Farther Market Garden operation during World War II, and a site which has seen history being made not just on the BMX track but in and amongst the local population. It's a very vibrant place to be. So let's grab ourselves a look at what the weather's doing at the moment. It has increased in temperature. It's 30 degrees C. In the shade, it's a lot hotter at the top of the start hill. It's 10 kilometres an hour in terms of wind. However, there are some gusts going up to about 25, so it has its moments here. Fortunately, none of the Mistral wind like we had in Sarrions previously, but a fantastic sunny track for our riders. It's going to test them. We're going to have to see how they can deal with it.
Hi, I'm Beth Shriver. We're here in Papendal and I'm going to give you the track preview. Let's get up to the start hill. So we're here at Papendal start gate. What an amazing view. This is actually one of the longest first straights on the circuit, so it kind of opens it up a bit. Doesn't mean you have to go in gate 1, you can go from the outside. One of the fastest first straights, and it showcases everyone's leg speed. So we'll see who gets to that first corner first over that step up. So at the end of this straight, we have a milder triple. It used to be a lot steeper, a lot less forgiving, but I'd say now quite a few more girls will be jumping it. You then go into a lovely wide open first corner. A lot of moves are going to be made. Then there's a long straight bit. Nice pump into the second straight. This used to be a triple. It's now a short step up, so you need to be pinpoint. So make sure you get your eyes peeled on that, and then you're all the way into the second corner with a lot of speed. So as you can see, guys, this is the perspective that we see coming out this first corner, flying flat out at 100% speed. This side is the women's side. As you can see, it's not much different to the men's side over here. The men's side is obviously a bit bigger, but you can't see the landings, and when you're coming out here flat out, it is quite scary. But yeah, what an amazing perspective. And when you're battling with 7 other people, it gets pretty tight. Crazy racing's coming up, guys. So at the end of the men's second straight, they have a massive berm jump that actually jumps over the women's corner. Their berm jump leads into their massive corner, which a lot of moves are going to be made. Both these corners are crucial in our races. The men's is wide open, a lot of moves will be made, whereas for the women, it's more about carrying speed so we can do the line on our third straight. And I think you need to be able to gain speed from both these corners to be able to do the line that you want. So once you've driven all your momentum through that third straight into the last corner, hopefully no one's come underneath you and you've got to this lovely short and sweet last straight. For me, all I'm worried about here is hanging on, hoping my legs are going to get me to that finish line, but the race isn't over until you cross that line. So hanging on, getting through these last obstacles, and we're good to go.
So the track here, a very technical track with some changes having been made to this track, Rich, with changes to triples, to step-ups, to we've got tamer triples. It is a change in an evolving track. It's going to be really interesting to see who deals with that after rounds 1 and 2 as we move across from rounds 1 and 2 into round number 3. So let's take a look at the standings in the World Cup so far with 2 rounds complete. Rich, Sarrion was really hot. It was hotter, in fact, here than in Papendal, and that's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out. We've just seen the riders just keeping in the shade at the moment.
Yeah, definitely keeping in the shade. The heat management, all important when these races here in the World Cups. You know, it was important to Sarrions, even more important here at Papendal. Riders just doing what they need to do, getting themselves prepared, making sure that the legs are ready when they need to be ready, and then when the lap is over, getting rid of that lactic acid.
And for those riders, we saw some riders really perform well. Where you could look at Molly Simpson here up at the top of the standings, taking away top spot. She's ahead of Zoe Claessens and Sayaka Bara there. And we've seen her do a fantastic ride. Saya maybe not being up there.
Yep, Sayaka Bara just not quite getting the results that she wanted, but she'll be good next time around.
It'd be very interesting to see what she can do. Can she come back? Can she pick herself back up? We saw Bethany Shriver looking very good in the second of those rounds. In terms of the men's racing, we've seen Arthur Pilar take away the win in round 1, in round 2, but he's now out of the racing, and that's a big shot that our series leader is out. And in fact, if we take a look at the top 8 riders in that men's competition, Arthur Pilar is out. We've got Rego Richard not racing. We've got Jeremy Renkerel not racing. It's a real change-up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely going to mix up the standings with the fact that Arthur Pilar's not made it out of the quarterfinal stage, so he's going to, lose his lead in those standings. Sylvan Andre and Isaac Kennedy waiting to take advantage of that, and you can't count out Cameron Wood either.
And Jamie O'Brink, great move by him. He moved from 21st place to 5th place as we came across from round 1 to round 2, so hopefully he's on form.
Yep, Jamie O'Brink certainly wanting to keep the Dutch fans happy here in the Netherlands. All the Dutch riders wanting to perform well. Jamie O'Brink being one of those. He's one of the new schoolers, they say, coming through, making his impression on the Dutch squad, but also on the World Cup scene as well. So he's going to want to make a proper impression.
And in terms of being a home track, that helps those riders who are ready and who know this track inside out. That's going to be really important, particularly when these riders are coming down the start gate, that run down that long first straight that we have, the changes to these features, all is going to affect the riders and how they can deal with this. It's going to be very interesting to see who has got those skills when they're here and they're racing on what is a technical track. And lots of changes.
Hey, I'm Isaac Kennedy. I'm 24 years old from Gold Coast, Australia. The thing with our sport, it's very physical, but at the same time, there's a lot of technical work. The gate start's a big part of a BMX race. Yeah, the race is won and lost there, so I think that's a massive technical part of the BMX track, but obviously, yeah. The race isn't over at the bottom of the hill. There's a whole, whole track and a whole lap to do after that. So it's a full package of things you need to be good down the hill, good technique, and then just good bike skill as well. My key skills or my strengths is, I think I'm pretty fast down the first straight for sure. And maybe a few years ago I wouldn't have said this, but I think my gate start is a good strength and a good skill now. The 2024 World Cup season was successful. I was able to get a few podiums there. I won the Brisbane World Cup in front of my hometown and my home crowd, which was awesome. That was definitely the highlight of the year. And then kept having a strong World Cup season. I won the overall World Cup title. To win the World Cup title is good because it's a series long, so you got to perform each weekend, and it just brings that confidence to know you can show up each weekend and perform. Rounds 1 and 2 of the season this year went relatively well. 2 podiums, a second and a third. So not what I'm really looking forward to. Every day I work to win these races. But in saying that, I can't be too mad. Second and third still a good result. I put a lot into this. You do make a lot of sacrifices, and for me, every single day I wake up and every decision I make in my life is to be a better BMX racer. Whether it's going to hang out with friends, it always goes back to no, I need to recover for the weekend or recover from training. With doing all that, yeah, I do put expectations on myself to come out here and win. The only thing that really does give me joy in it is winning. So I do work, yeah, and put everything into this to go out and win. You're not going to win every single race, and I know that, but it's always the goal, that's for sure.
So let's take a run through our quarterfinals and the action so far. And Bethany Shriver looking very strong.
Yeah, Beth looking very strong for Great Britain out in front in that women's quarterfinal. She had Lauren Reynolds right there behind her as she went into that turn, and as they came out of it and down the final straight, it was the Great Britain Australian rider out in 1 and 2. Big old gap to the riders in 3 and 4, and Beth and Lauren going through to the semi-finals in front of Taya Rufus and Delaney Vaughan.
So they were the first 4 of our riders to move through from the quarterfinals into our semi-finals, and a really packed second semi-final.
Yeah, packed, definitely. Says Kakibara of Australia looking to make up for the slight disappointments that she had in Sarrions. But this is a track where Sai can actually perform her best, and she's got plenty of room to work with. And as they went into the turn, she was out in front there. She had Zoe Claysons for company and Axel Etienne from France. And indeed, they were the 1, 2, 3. All the action went on behind as Mackenzie Gayhart went over the turn, and Lexis Colby got pipped for that 4th spot by Sienna Powell.
So those are the second of the 4 sets of riders to move through in that women's elite competition. A fantastic quarter-final there. But Laura Smorders looking to excel on this track.
Yeah, Laura's got multiple World Cup wins. She's won 6 World Cups on this track here at Papendal as part of her 27 overall World Cup wins, and she's looking for win number 28. And wouldn't the Olympic bronze medalist love to do it here in front of the Franz in her home nation? She had Maylin Kelstrup following her out of the last turn. They went 1 and 2 at the line. Laura putting in a great performance. That looked like Talia Burford going across in that 3rd spot. Indy Sheepers just taking the 4th.
And we've seen a number of riders coming down in our quarterfinals. It's been very, very tight. And riders choosing to get some room to move. Molly Simpson, though, the World Cup leader, choosing that inside gate.
Yeah, Molly only needed 1 room to move, and that room was forward, and she made it happen as they came out of the gate. She led it into the turn. The winner of round number 2 in Sarrions, absolutely in control. Manon Veenstra getting involved in Judy Bow. Judy coming back off a broken shoulder blade that she suffered in preparation for the World Championships in Copenhagen, but it didn't seem to affect her in this quarterfinal as she worked away in a 2nd place spot behind Molly Simpson. Manon Veenstra coming through in that 3rd spot with Barton Cover in 4th.
So you can see the heat 4 result. Molly Simpson taking that from Veenstra and Bartkova. If we move across, though, our under-23s were coming thick and fast, and some really dominant rides, particularly by our Netherlands riders.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Nordam in control during this, and absolutely flying. Joshua Jolly right there next to him, but he had company with Enzo Leclerc, who didn't start particularly well, but worked his way up into that 3rd spot. Held onto it to the line with Velasquez Carmona of Colombia in 4th. And that was the result of quarter-final number 1. Jason Nordam, Joshua Jolly and Enzo Leclerc rounding out the top 3. As we moved on to the second of the quarter-finals with Marcus Leff, Clement Rocheroux, Mika Lang and Jordan Callum. So the gate dropped on that quarter-final, and it was Rocheroux who got himself out from early doors. Jordan Callum there in the middle of the pack, but it all started to get a little bit mixed up as they came out of the corner. And Loris Gimois was there in that 3rd position, and Mika Lang rounded out the top 4, just despite some pressure from Marcus Leff. Unfortunately, Ethan Popovich going out in that 6th spot, but Rocheroux, the rising star of the French BMX scene, doing what needed to be done. Jordan Callum in 2, Loris Gimois in 3.
A number of riders moving out. Pierre Gates absolutely had a flyer at the 2nd round. Came through very, very strongly indeed.
He did come through very strongly. He put the great first straight in. He had Casper Pipers for company, and they were mixing up, and Seppilainen was in there as well, the Belgian national champion. All started to get a little bit tight as they came down that third straight, but out front it was Caspers and Gijs into the corner, and Jesper Valberg, who was racing, you know, in the 16-year-old age group in the European Championships in 2024, worked his way into his first World Cup semi-final as an under-23 male.
And great to see riders, some of our more experienced riders in that under-23 category, as well as some of these brand new riders moving up from juniors, mixing it up at the front pipers. Gijs, Valberg and Leinen going in and through. The European champion up against Jesse Asmus here in the quarter-finals. Very, very tight as it came out from the gate.
Yeah, this is where it all got mixed up. Piszczynowski on the inside, and then there was a touch of riders, and Jesse Asmus unfortunately going down in a heap on that first straight, having to pick himself up and get looked after by the medics here on the track. Still out in front at that point was Piszczynowski. He had Mathis Jacquet, Jan-Anton Jakob Skursbeck and Marco Radielli with him as well, and those front four went through in the qualifying positions, Piszczynowski taking the win.
So Piszczynowski taking away top spot and joining the riders going into the semi-finals.
5 minutes until the racing gets underway.
So that's the roundup of your quarterfinals so far. We are going to move from our quarterfinals and move across towards those semi-finals. Well, the riders going to need their focus on the track here in the semi-finals. The riders lined up on the gate at the moment. This is round 3 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. 6 rounds. The first 2 at Sarion, rounds 3 and 4 here in Papendal. Rounds 5 and 6. Santiago del Estero in Argentina. Rich, this is where we see those big points being scored in the series standings, and this is where they can really make their mark here. Nordam will be looking to make this 3 from 3.
Yeah, we're looking for 3 from 3, but he's got 4 French riders to deal with in this one, and that's before you move on to the 2 Belgians and the German rider as well. So Jason Nordam there in lane number 1, winner of the first 2 rounds in Sarions. He's got Enzo Leclerc right there next to him, Pierre Gijs as well, and that's before you get to the European champion Alexis Piszczynowski, and Pierre Gijs will be looking to make some big moves in this semi-final.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the first of the semi-finals, Argo looks like Nordam's got another flyer as they head towards that first turn. Piszczynowski right there with him as well. Is he going to pick up the whole shot? Piszczynowski out in front. That looks like Mathis Jacquet in there in 2. Jason Nordam going through in 3, and that's Pierre Gijs in 4. So the French looking comfortable with 3 out of the 4 positions all sewn up at the minute. Can Jason Nordam pick off some positions as they come down towards this final corner? It looks like he's going to work his way to the outside. Is he going to try and dive underneath? Is he going to be able to hold on the position? He's battling with Piszczynowski down the final string. Looks like he's going to get that 3rd spot of the line. Mathis Jacquet taking it. Piszczynowski in 2. Nordam in 3. Gijs in 4. French getting 3 riders in that final.
Well, it might not be on home nation turf here, the French, but certainly looking very strong in there. And with Piszczynowski absolutely done. Great to see Nordam looking good and still looking off, or maybe just going to get pushed that little bit more at the moment. Is that going to put him under enough pressure?
Well, Piszczynowski just got his nose in front, and then Jacquet worked his way in as well. And, Jason Nordam was there in 3rd at that particular point in time. I think he knew he'd done enough to make the final, but he just wanted to pick up those extra positions so he'd have better gate pick in the final. He's there in 3rd, so he won't get the choice of gate that he wants, but that's the sign of a champion. You've got to make those slightly more difficult situations pay.
Well, we will see if the champions elect, our future elite champions, can nail it here in the under-23 competition. The first of our semi-finals done and dusted. Our first 4 riders through: Jacquet, Piszczynowski, Nordam and Gijs. Which 4 riders will be joining them? It's going to be interesting because this is maybe a little bit closer certainly in terms of those spots in 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th, down to maybe even 7th.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough semi-final. You've got Joshua Jolly there on the inside, already had a win on the USA BMX Pro Series. But then you're looking at riders like Mika Lang, Marco Radaelli, Clement Rocheroux, and then Jordan Callum, who's going to be out there in gate number 8. So it's a real mixed bag, and I'm excited to see how this semi-final will unfold. And there is Joshua Jolly of Australia on the 504 plate in gate number 1. He's got Casper Pipers of the Netherlands next to him in 2, Clement Rocheroux in 3, and the Colombian Velasquez Carmona in gate number 4.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Second in the semi-finals for the men under 23, who will be joining Nordan Pishanowski and company in the final. It looks like Joshua Jolly's going to be first in the turn. Where is Clement Rocheroux? He's back there in 3 at the moment, but he's got company, and that is the Italian rider Radaelli. Where is Casper Pipers? He's back there as well at the moment. No, he's out in front. I do apologise, just picked out the wrong jersey. Jesper Volberg now trying to make his moves. Radaelli in there in 2. Pipers out in front. Joshua Jolly in there in 3 as they come in and out of that final corner. Oh, it's getting all mixed up, and Joshua Jolly has hit the deck. The Australian is out. Rocheroux's made it in. Mika Lang in 5, Carmona, the Colombian's in as well, and it just all went wrong for Joshua Jolly in the final turn.
Well, Casper Pipers is going to be thanking his lucky stars. He was clear of all of the carnage that went on behind Radaelli. I mean, it was moving about. We could see so much issues there. Joshua Jolly coming down, and he's handed his bike there. He's got to be absolutely gutted because he's been on some storming form, riding really strongly. He made the finals in rounds 1 and 2. He's now not going to make those finals in round 3.
Unfortunately, that's just where the cookie crumbles in BMX sometimes as they left the gate. You know, Joshua Jolly got a great start. Casper Pipers was at least a bike length behind him as they went into that first turn, but Pipers had that really good inside line and carved underneath, worked his way from about 5th into 1st. Meanwhile, Radaelli was in there in 2. Clement Rocheroux had some work to do at this point, and as they came into the final corner, Pipers and Radaelli all got mixed up. Volberg collected Joshua Jolly. That took Jordan Callum as well. Jolly waves his arms as to go, what happened there? Meanwhile, Rocheroux went through, the Columbia went through as well. Mika Lang was the unlucky rider in that 5th spot.
So Lang taking 5th, not going through with Volberg, Callum and Jolly. So Pipers, Radaelli, Rocheroux and Velasquez Carmona join Jacques Pikanowski at Nordam and Geese in our men's under 23 finals. That will be coming up very shortly indeed. But we have more of our semi-finals to come. We're really looking forward to see if we are going to get the Netherlands back on top. Once again, Michelle Vissing has been looking very strong in rounds 1 and 2. With an absolute flyer, taking away top spot in both round 1 and 2. Behind her, Emily Hutt had a 3rd and a 2nd place. Marie Favrel with 2nd, then a 6th, getting into that final. Lily Greenough with a podium as well. The women's under 23 semi-finals. It's really going to be very important for those riders who want to figure to get up into the top spot and to get into those finals and score those big points.
Yeah, Lily Greenough will be looking to make some big, gains here, especially as Emily Hutt has not worked her way into those semi-finals. She went out in the quarter, so there's an opportunity for things to be changed around here.
And Veronica Stariska, another rider in that top 10 riders, not having a great day at the office. Van Sanfort's been looking good. Then Kosakova forced her way in and through. Devore, the rider sitting in 10th place in the series standing, she's not going to be going in and through. She had an incident earlier on in the day. So a lot of riders really struggling to get through. Vissing, though, out on gate 8, interestingly.
Absolutely. That's a good choice for Michelle. Maybe she's just thinking about keeping herself out of that little bit of trouble and getting a clean run into the final. But we'll see as soon as this gate drops. You've got Lily Greenough on the inside, Alexis Holden in the middle, and Sienna Harvey doing it for Great Britain. So this is set to be a very, very even women under 23 semi-final number 1.
riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
The women under 23 semi-finals are going. Michelle Vissing in gate number 8, and she's already got herself across into that first position as they head into the turn. Lily Greenoff in there in 2. It's all about the 3 and the 4. The American Alexis Olin trying to get involved as well as they go down that straight, but Michelle Vissing already out in front and starting to break away from Lily Greenoff, who's got that 3rd and 4th position. Saif Ayed Makalo and Sienna Harvey of Great Britain is on the cusp of making her very first under 23 World Cup main. Can she hold it onto the line? Vissing's going to get it. Greenoff's in there in 2. Harvey's looking good for the 4th. Sienna Harvey makes her first World Cup main as an under 23 woman. She'll be delighted with that, but business as usual for Michelle Vissing.
Michelle Vissing going from the outside gate from 8th right the way into 1st straight away. Really put the power down. Greenoff, who's been looking good all day long, maybe not quite giving it everything that... Right, we talked about this before, Rich. Riders don't hold back. They want to get the right gate. They want to get that correct placing. But Vissing out there, no problems at all. Maybe Greenoff just knows that she's going to make that final. She's got the pace and power. She knows that barring something major, she's going to go through with Vissing. Yeah, she is going to go through with Vissing. Those 2 riders have been, not dominant, but certainly up there all the way through the first 2 rounds. And Michelle Vissing was out in front, and she knew she was going to make it in. But Sienna Harvey at this point, she must have been wondering, who's behind me? Are they going to catch me going down to the line? And as soon as she got there, she knew. We heard a big shout. Sienna Harvey makes her first World Cup main. So going through, Michelle Vissing, Lily Greenhoff, we've just seen Sherry Nicole Faye Mercado, who went through in 3rd place, and Sienna Harvey confirmed on your screens in 4th position, going through ahead of Alexis Aldenez, Sitnikova, along with Guy and Vimont. The riders eliminated this stage competition from going through into our finals. We have our first 4 riders in the under 23 semi-finals through. Lots of different emotions back behind the scenes. Some riders having to call it a day before they wanted. Other riders getting a much better result. I mean, Sienna Harvey said that going through to her very first final, that's going to be a great feeling. Yeah, that'll really boost Sienna's confidence as we go through the season. When you make your breakthrough like that, you get to the first World Cup main, it just gives you that extra confidence, and you can get it done at the highest level. So riders just lining themselves up at the top of the hill. You see Marie Favrel, the rider who's currently sitting in 3rd place in those series standings, took 2nd place in round number 1. Just takes a little bit of a look down, just keeping herself on her toes there rather than being sat down. And it's just about keeping a little bit calmer at the moment, isn't there, when you've got that little bit of a time before you go down to the gate? Yeah, that adrenaline's pumping, and Renske van Sanfort knows what it takes to hold that adrenaline just in check and do enough to keep you, moving through the main events and the semi-finals as we are at this stage. But Marie Favrel, she took a 6th in round number 2 at Sarrions. Laura Mougier's in there as well. She had 2 8s. And it's nice to see Alexandra Simashkina come through as well, the neutral athlete. She's certainly making her presence felt in this women under 23s category. So the rider's just being held. Vissing just takes a look across Greenoff. Look good, just sucking up a little bit of oxygen there. And it's such an explosive effort. You've really got to get the oxygen down. You've got to get fresh refill. But when you're doing that, you're being passed by elite riders coming backwards and forwards. Just seen Simpson riding past. All those riders are coming past. It's staying focused, keeping in that mindset, absolutely key. It is. And I think, the fact that they get those tall seat posts in and the riding round, it's as much of a chance to decompress mentally as it is physically. They spin the legs out, they try and get rid of the lactic acid, but it's also a chance just to calm down and keep the nerves in check. So as we look at the gate, Marie Favrel in gate number 1. French rider made 2 mains in Sarrions. Renske van Sanfort there in the orange of the Netherlands. And Lissy van Schindel, also of the Netherlands, on the outside in gate number 8.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gate drops on the second of these semi-finals for the women under 23. Renske van Sanford right there in the middle of the pack as they head towards the turn. Marie Favrel is going to get out front early doors. Lissy van Schindel has worked her way all the way from gate number 8 and she's in there into that third spot, battling for the 2. Favrel looks like she's just been squeezed as they go into that second corner. So as they go in and out, Favrel's gone back even further. Looks like I think it might have been Manikova who's hit the deck in that second corner as they go towards the last turn. In and out we go, bringing it down towards the line. Favrel in a qualifying position. Here comes Renske van Sanford as well, and as they bring it to the line, Manikova, Lizzie van Schindel, going through. Renske van Sanford in 3 and Marie Favrel just getting 4.
Wow, that was absolutely frantic there, Rich, as they came in through the line there. Big long hold at the top, big long weight, and then they came flying down and through. Really, really explosive. And riders still going down, even at this stage in the competition.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Dominika Manikova taking the win in that one. Lissy van Schindel, she was in gate number 8 and came right across from the outside, worked her way into a top 3 spot. Marie Favrel was out in front early doors, and then Manikova came underneath. And Marie Favrel just got a little bit of a squeeze. And
so those riders come in and through. The women's under 23 semi-finals results on your screen. So here at the UCI BMX Racing World Cup, round number 3 of 6 for 2025. A fantastic venue, a legendary venue, a fantastic set of riders assembled for this. We're going in with the elites, and at the top of the hill, the wind is just starting to pick up. We're seeing it blow. It's not going to phase these riders, Rich.
Not in the slightest. Rico Bierman there on the inside. The first World Cup here for elite men was won by Mark Willers, and Rico Bierman of New Zealand, there he is on top of the gate. He's looking to repeat that success. And that first World Cup here in 2011, there was 2 New Zealand winners, included Sarah Walker as well. Isaac Kennedy out in gate number 2. He's on the template, the reigning World Cup champion. He'll be looking to make his mark here, make up for those third and second places that he got in Sarion's. He's sitting well in the point standings. He'll be looking to improve on it even more. Ross Cullen of Great Britain also in there on that 22 plate. And he's got Simon Marquardt and Mitchell Schottman either side of him as we look at Sylvain Andre of France, winner of round number 2 in Sarion's. So it's Bierman, Kennedy, Schottman, Cullen, Marquardt, Andre, Huguemart and Blanc. A who's who of the elite men class, all the heavy hitters in this one. I'm interested to see which 4 riders will make it through to the final.
So a reminder, 4 riders from each of our semi-finals going through into our finals, trying to score the big points, trying to take away the win, trying to take away the lead in that World Cup Series standing.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
8 elite men riders heading down that hill. 4 of them are going to go through to the final. Ross Cullen's been shuffled out of the back already. Who's going to lead it into the corner? Bierman and Kennedy are going to go 1 and 2. That looks like Mitchell Schottman in there in 3 at the moment. Renaud Blanc in there as well for Switzerland in that 4th spot. So are the Netherlands going to get a rider in their home World Cup? Mitchell Schottman in that 3rd place. Is he going to hold on to it as they head down towards the final turn? It's going to be Bierman, Kennedy, Schottman, Blanc. That is your 1, 2, 3 and 4. Sylvain Andre's making his move down the final straight. Is he going to make it in? It was so close. Schottman in 3, Andre in 4. He stole it away from Blanc at the line. Bierman and Kennedy photo finish, but Mitchell Schottman will be over the moon to make that final.
Mitchell Schottman has been looking so good as he came through, throwing some real surprises down, taking some big scalps on the way through, looking really, really strong and absolutely delighted, as you say. But now he knows that he's got one more race to go. He's in that final. It's job done. Brilliant riding by him to come through. The victory, though, came down to the photo finish. Very, very close on the line. And Sylvain Andre, he left himself a lot to do, but my goodness, he did it in that last straight.
Yeah, he certainly did. He was already looking across as they went into turn number 1 to find out who was where and could he find a gap. He got pushed out wide. Ross Cullen was struggling at this point. Shotman was in there in 3, but it was all about Bierman and Kennedy as they came out of that final turn. Bierman taking the win, Kennedy in there into Shotman, and then Andre utilising all his experience, leaving it late. Blanc made the slightest of mistakes, and Andre stole away that final qualifying position.
Fastest reset in history ever.com. You know, Sylvain Andre getting shunted up the side there, no way through, and then manages in the course of what was a 34.755 second race to get reset and then come up on the inside. And that's such a key skill in BMX, being able to reset. Qualifiers going through: Rico Bierman, Isaac Kennedy, Mitchell Shotman, and Sylvain Andre going out. Blanc, Marcotte, Cullen, and Ogema. They are the riders who have gone. Next of our semi-finals in the men's elite is going to be very interesting because it's a real mixed bag of riders, including some riders who are really on the up and up as well, Rich.
Yeah, we have. We've got Hugo Marzlak in there as well, Eddie Clerté and Jamie O'Brink. Jamie will be wanting to impress the home fans here in the Netherlands. He's out in gate 8, but he's got the speed, he's got the skill. We know he can get it done. Can Jamie O'Brink make the main event?
So riders just held on the top of that start hill, being pulled down to the gate, time to ready themselves. This is the second of our men's elite semi-finals. The last 4 riders to qualify for those finals will come from the top of the hill. Will it be Bootie's day? He's had a real mixed bag of results in rounds 1 and 2. We're going to see if he's going to be able to pull it out here. He needs to get some points in now.
Yeah, and there is the USA BMX Pro Series champion Cameron Wood. Had some issues in the early rounds, but did what he needed to do to make it through to the final. And I'll be interested to see how the neutral athlete Alexander Katishev gets on. He's right there in the middle in the white jersey, next door to Cameron Wood. Eddie Clerté in gate number 7, Julian Schmidt of Germany in gate 6, the 2 Swiss riders with the prime positions, gate 1 and 2.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Second men elite semi-final. Oh, we've got 2 riders down already on the first straight. I think the 2 Swiss riders have hit the deck as they came down the hill. Jamie O'Brink coming from the outside. Eddie Clerté in there in 2. That looks like Cameron Wood in there in that 3rd spot. 1 rider's exited the wrong side as well, so it's all been mixed up in this one. Only 5 riders left on track. 4 positions up for grabs. Cameron Wood is in there in that 4th spot, just trying to pick out the rider in 5. But as they head towards the final turn, it's going to be Jamie O'Brink and Eddie Clerté going 1 and 2. Brink's keeping the home fans happy. Looks like Katishev's going to make it in as well. The neutral athlete makes the main event. Jamie O'Brink's in there, but all the drama was on straight number 1. Cedric Booty, Loris Eberhard both going down in a heat before they got to the bottom of the hill. And there is Jamie O'Brink just rolling away. Relieved, I think, to get through. And as they came out, Booty came over immediately. And, collided with Eberhard. That took both riders out. And as they came into the turn, Hugo Marzlak, I think, ended up on the floor as well. Meanwhile, Brink and Clerté were 1 and 2. Alexander Katishev had it all to do at that point when they came out of the turn, but he worked his way from 5th to 3rd. Cameron Wood in that final qualifying spot. Julian Schmidt doing everything he possibly could to work his way through into a top 4 position. It wasn't to be. He couldn't take it away from Cameron Wood at the line. But delight for Jamie O'Brink and Eddie Clerté.
Well, you can say that it's something we've all experienced one time or another. And in the heat and at the end of a long day, it's going to start taking its toll. This is the men's elite semi-finals. The second 4 riders to go through. Jamie O'Brink, Eddie Clarty, Alexander Kadyshev and Cameron Wood, the 4 riders making the way through. Those 3 riders going out, Marslake Booty and Eberhard. Cedric Booty's run of bad luck continues in lots of ways. Made the finals in round 1, hasn't made the finals in rounds 2 and 3. Well, time to move across now from our men's elite to our women's elite semi-finals. We're going to see who's going to be able to take the race action from the front here. Who's going to be able to take that away as the sun continues to beat down here in Papendal.
Yep, first semi-final for the women elite. Laura Smulders of the Netherlands still searching for World Cup win number 28. She's had no less than 6 victories here at Papendal in the past. She wants to make it 7 on this particular track. She wants to make it 28 in total. Laura, one of the most popular riders on the World Cup scene. She's got Axel Etienne in gate number 2. Taya Rufus, who took a tumble in the first round at Sarrions, but she's back for this one. And we've got Zoe Claessens in there, Judy Bow, Indy Skeepers and Sienna Pal as well. So a real mix-up. Be interesting to see which 4 riders make it through to the Women Elite Final here at round number 3 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. And there is Laura Smulders in gate number 1. Took an Olympic bronze medal in London in 2012 when she was 18 years old and still racing at the highest level even now. That is Bethany Shriver of Great Britain on the 911, the world and Olympic champion in 2021. And Taya Rufus in gate number 3. Zoe Claessens already had wins this season in Sarrions. She's out in gate number 7.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Our Women Elite semi-finals are underway. Smulders, Etienne, Rufus, all in this one. Looks like Bethany Shriver's had a problem. She's right there at the back of the pack in 8th place. Laura Smulders out in front. Zoe Claessens in there in 2. Another rider gone down as they come out of turn number 1. So it's all been mixed up. That is Judy Bow, I think, in there in that 3rd spot. Taya Rufus of Australia in 4. Claessens in 2. All chasing down Laura Smulders. Here comes Sienna Pal looking for a position. Triples over into that final turn. Has she done enough to catch Taya Rufus? She's creeping up on the back wheel. Sienna Pal, is she going to catch Rufus? Oh, it's going to be close on the line. Rufus holds on for the 4. Sienna Pal in 5. Bethany Shriver, disappointment in 6. But Laura Smulders looking like she's back to business.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Great to see her coming back and back to her best. I mean, that was a race where it went all over the place from start to finish. Absolutely crazy to me. I mean, we were just seeing, we saw Bethany Shriver. She's been right up there. She's been racing really strongly all the way through, qualifying through round 1, right the way through the 8s, through the quarters, and then it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think she might have just tipped that gate ever so slightly. She didn't get over that first jump, and that's enough to ruin anybody's lap. Meanwhile, Smulders was on it as she came out of the turn. Axel Etienne, just the back wheel just stepped away from her. She went down and took the 88 plate with her. That was Indy Skeepers who went down in that crash as well. Meanwhile, as they came out of the turn, Laura Smulders still searching for World Cup win number 7 here at Papendal. She's looking good by winning the semi-final. That's going to give her a great gate choice. Zoe Claessens in there in 2. Judy Bow, who took a win here in 2019. She went through for 3. And Taya Rufus hanging on by the skin of her teeth in 4th.
So really interesting to watch that race, see those changes, but that is BMX Racing. Sienna Pal at the moment not going to be happy with that 5th place, not making it through. You can see the disappointment as she came over the line there, and really interesting. She pushed and she just wanted that spot. She just couldn't get over the line there. Taya Rufus holding on. She knew she was alongside her and really pushing.
Yeah, she pushed all the way to the line. Taya Rufus holding on to it. Redemption, I think, after that crash she had at Sarrions. She'll be pleased as punch to make that final as we watch Clement Rocheroux getting himself ready for his main event.
Well, the semi-finals very rarely leave us with the expected riders. It's always a big shake-up as we move through our semi-finals racing, whether that is in the elite or in the under-23 competitions that we have throughout the course of the day at a World Cup. And don't forget, you can catch up with all of the results on www.uci.org. Go to the BMX racing discipline, and from there you can go to the race hubs for the World Cups and of course those World Championships that will be happening in Copenhagen in Denmark after round 4 and before round number 5. But before that, we have the conclusion here of round number 3 here in Papendal, as we see those riders in between those rounds, just making sure that they're getting enough fluids down, get ready for the next race, and a real variety of bikes that are being ridden about, but just keeping those legs turning.
Yeah, definitely, especially at a venue like Papendal when you're doing so many long laps over the course of a day. Alexander Katishev there, starting to cramp up, and when you've put 6 efforts in already and you've got a 7th one to do, a World Cup main event, it's going to be so tough just to make the body work the way you want it to by the time you get up there on the gate. But I'm sure the adrenaline will take over, and Alexander Katishev, he'll be up there and he'll be ready to go.
Well, you can just see, just going to pick him up and get him out of the way of that track exit. You don't want anybody coming off the track head and rolling over you. You're spread enough getting run into when you're down on the floor on the track. At moments like this, you've got riders like Manon Veenstra here who knows what she's doing. She's been at the very upper levels. These riders, they know that they've got to be prepped and ready for the next phase. This is the final, but this is the end of round 3. This is the halfway point when we finish this round in the World Cup Series, and that means what you do here is really, really critical. You might have laid the foundations in Sarrion in rounds 1 and 2, but what you do now in those semi-finals, in the finals, where you score those points are so critical, because this can make or break the season. Yeah, definitely can. Like I say, when you're at the halfway point, you've got the opportunity to pick up vital points and set yourself up for the second half of the year. Saya Sakakibara in gate number 1. And that's something she will want to do, having not had maybe the first 2 rounds go the way that she wanted, but this is a packed semi-final with Saya Sakakibara in gate number 1. We've got the winner of the previous round, Molly Simpson, in the same semi-final as well as riders like Delaney Vaughan, who's right up there, 7th currently in the series overall. Rich.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
We are go on the Women Elite second semi-final. Lauren Reynolds of Australia getting a good start from the middle. She's going to follow Saya Sakakibara into that first. It's Australia going 1 and 2 as they go in and out of the corner. Kelstrup and Burford in there as well. Molly Simpsons looks like she's been caught up in the pack as they head in towards turn number 2. It is Kelstrup in that 3rd spot. That's Manon Veenstra in there in 4, and there's a bit of a gap to the rider in 5, but look at the front 3 out in front. They're going to make it in. Looks like the American rider Delaney Vaughan taking to the skies over the triple, trying to make a move in the final turn. Sakakibara, Reynolds, Kelstrup and Veenstra 1, 2, 3 and 4. Simpson photo finish for 5, but that's not where you want to be.
Well, it does mean that the coach, team manager, can dye his hair back to a normal colour. That colour in honour of the win by Molly Simpson in the previous round. Well, that's her for carrying out the penalty or the bet. Now, Molly Simpson here, it went wrong really early on. She wasn't the slowest off the gate here, but she just drifted back. By the time we got into the first turn, she was in 7th, if not 8th position here, and she moved up in towards 4th, 5th. She couldn't get that ground back, could she?
No, she couldn't get that ground back, and it wasn't held by the fact that Lauren Reynolds got an absolute flyer of a first straight to work her way into that 2nd spot behind her compatriot Saya Sakakibara. Meanwhile, Manon Veenstra worked her way into 3. Delaney Vaughan went high. She looked for a move in that final corner, couldn't quite make it stick, and Kelstrup going through 3.
So we have Kelstrup going through in 3 seconds. Sakakibara confirmed as your race winner ahead of Lauren Reynolds, Marlene Kelstrup in 3, and Manon Veenstra in 4. Bartkova, Simpson, along with Vaughan and Burford, the riders eliminated from the competition, which means that it will be Smolders, Clayson, Bow, Rufus, Sakakibara, Reynolds, Kelstrup and Veenstra in the women's elite finals. And that's going to be heading your way very shortly indeed. The riders at the moment just making the most of the break here as the track is damped down. And if somebody's new, and we have people watching all around the globe, we have our superb enthusiasts. We have the people who live, breathe, sleep. If you cut them through the middle, a bit like Blackpool Rock for those people who've been to the seaside and had that confectionery, it probably says BMX forever through the middle. But we've also got new riders, new viewers. The track being watered is a real key thing.
Keeps that dust down and aids in grip as well, so it's very important.
So here at the 2025 UCI BMX Racing World Cup, the last round before we hit halfway, we're moving into our finals. Here at round number 3, Papendal has been as thrilling as ever with a real mix of riders. Casper Pipers, going up to the top there. He's almost sprinted his way up. There's a big old gap behind him there. He was quick to choose his lane. And gate choice here is dependent on what you do preceding this.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the faster you are in those semi-finals, the better you finish. That gives you the opportunity to have a great gate pick. Matti Jacquet is actually, I think he had 3rd or 4th pick, but he's opted for gate number 8. Maybe he knows something that other people don't.
We have seen throughout the course of today, gate 1 is great, as usual. Gate 8, though, if you've got a choice of something in the middle or 8, a lot of people go in for 8 to get that speed, that drive through. It doesn't work for everybody, but some of the riders really have made that work, particularly I think the home riders who regularly ride on this track, or the experienced riders who've ridden this a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a case of taking a calculated risk. If you look who's on the inside of you, and sometimes you think, well, there might be a little bit of carnage in that first corner, maybe I'll have the opportunity to take advantage, or they want, you know, a clean, unrestricted run on that first straight. They've certainly got a plan in mind when they get up there, so hopefully Matti Jacquet, his plan will come to fruition, and we'll see when the gate drops for this final.
And Pikanowski really looking to improve on where he's finished previously. Nordam, though, he's at the top, 2 wins so far. He's been looking good, but he's in gate number 3, so he's right in that mix in the centre. And that's going to really change things up as we go through. We've also got up there, I mean, we've seen really, Asmus, he's out, he's gone. We've got Goosens, he's not in the final. Jolly's not made it into our final. Pierre Geese is in the final, so he can really score some big points. The door is open for somebody. You have to really try and make a move up on Nordam, or for Nordam to reinforce what would be 3 out of 3 and much more commanding lead.
Yeah, I'm sure that he'll be looking for a good finish, you know, having gate 3 being able to select gate 3, I should say. Clement Rocheroux's there in gate number 5. So, yeah, gate 4, Pierre Gis, as we just mentioned, he's there on the 506 out of France. Jason Nordam, I think he'll be quite surprised to get gate 3 when he had 5th pick in the final, so he'll be happy with that one. He's giving himself much more opportunity when the gate drops in this final. Alexis Pichinowski of France in gate number 2. He looks focused and ready. And in gate number 1 on the inside, he'll be looking to drive the home fans wild with a win. It's Casper Pipers.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So the first of our finals here in round number 3 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup 2025 is underway. We are looking at Jason Nordam, the winner of rounds 1 and 2. He's out in front in round number 3. That is his compatriot Casper Pipers in there in that second spot. Pichinowski of France is in there in 3. That looks like Matisse Jacquet, who's in there in 4, but coming under pressure now from Pierre Gis as they go down that third straight. Nordam, Pipers is with him. Pipers is looking for a move. Runs runs him high round the turn, rails the berm and goes down the straight. Ryder's going off in the final corner. Nordam makes it 3 from 3. Piper's in 2, Jacque in 3, Radaeli in 4. But Jason Nordam, domination in men under 23.
Well, what a race, and Casper Papers and Jason Nordam there with the congratulations to each other. Going off the course was Pikanowski, so that has not helped him at all. Was third in the standings, he's dropped him back, but you can see them saluting the home crowd here. 2 Netherlands riders, a 1-2 in the under 23. What a result for them. The crowd are going to love that, and they are clearly ecstatic.
Yeah, Jason Nordam winding the crowd up. That's what they come for here when they come to Papendal. They want to see Dutch winners. They've just had a Dutch 1-2 in men under 23. It doesn't get any better than that from the fans, but Jason Nordam, I think as they came into that final, you know, he didn't have the best of gate picks, and he's ended up in 3, and it's worked for him. So as they came out of the gate and down the hill, Piper's got a good one. Pikanowski was back there in about 7th at that point. Mathis Jacque coming across from 8 on the outside. And the Colombian getting involved as well. And they went over the turn. Nordam there in that commanding position, but Casper Pipers was right there with him, right on the back wheel, looking for a way round. At that point, Pikanowski exited on the right-hand side. Nordam took the win, had a quick look back. Knew he'd done well there, and the crowd and even the track volunteers going absolutely mad.
Yeah, definitely you can see that orange hat on there. The orange of the Netherlands, very proudly worn by the Riders of the Netherlands champion in the mix there with Casper Pipers coming through to take second place. Just waiting those confirmed results which hit our screen. So Jason Nordam taking away the win from Casper Pipers in second, which is Mathis Jacque taking third place. Fourth, Radielli, fifth, Geese, sixth, Carmona, seventh, Rochero, and eighth place at Pikanowski. But no stopping the man. 3 from 3 for Jason Nordam.
Jason, many congratulations. That's 3 World Cup wins out of 3 this season. Just talk to us how you came through to take the win from Gate 3 today.
I just tried to be my best semi-final. You got really sprint, but I tried to manage the final, so I'm happy about that.
It was a really close race between yourself and Casper. How aware were you of how close he was behind you?
So we're going to go dive back in with Jason as soon as we can. He's getting a dab hand at being down there. 3 from 3. That confidence is with him, and he's absolutely flying, isn't he? He's going to... We know that he says he just goes out, he does what he can. He said in previous interviews that it's about just doing the work, doing the preparation, making sure he gets it down, and he hits it, and that's working for him.
Yeah, it's about his consistency and his process. He works really hard, Jason Nordam. He said he put the work in the gym over the winter time. It's certainly playing off, and it's great to see him win another World Cup.
So that's 3 from 3 for him. That means that he's secure at the top of the standings. It's going to be all changing the standings behind him, and we'll get those updated. Don't forget, you can pick up all those standings on the UCI.org website. It's www.uci.org on the BMX discipline pages. And of course, those standings really, really critical as we move on to round number 4, which is in Papendal. Now, a real mix behind Pikanowski. He's going to be disappointed. He's going to have to pick himself up. He was second in round 1, 11th in round 2. He makes the final, but then crashes out in round 3. Roller coaster ride.
Yeah, an absolute roller coaster ride for Alexis Pikanowski. But the fact that he's made 2 finals out of 3, you know, he's still got the opportunity to make up for it in the second half of the season.
So you can see our top 3 riders here. Mathis Jacque taking third for France. Taking second place, Casper Pipers of the Netherlands. And his countryman, Jason Nordam, race winner once again, 3 from 3 in the driving seat. He's got the whole shot to take away the win. He's gone round turn 2. He's gone round turn 3. Can he make it over the finishing line in top spot when we get to the end of the season? Well, at the moment, he's looking good. He's looking dominant. But he's not alone in that Netherlands domination in our younger age categories. Michelle Vissing has been good so far in our under-23 women's competition with 2 wins as well. I'm sure she isn't even thinking, can I do the same? She's just focused on a race.
Yeah, Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands, she'll be focused on her process. She'll go through exactly the same preparation for every single lap. She'll do what she needs to do, and hopefully it'll work out in her favour. But she's got Lily Greenoff, Dominika Manikova, Shari Nicole, Fayed Mercado, Sienna Harvey of Great Britain, Lissy Van Schindel, Renske van Sanfort and Marie Favrel to deal with.
And Van Sanfort has been looking good on the track, but Greenoff has been very much looking like she's got something left, like she's got plenty in the tank.
Yeah, I think Lily Greenoff has got plenty in the tank, but Michelle Vissing has opted for gate number 8 again, so she must be feeling confident here. Out on this track at Papendal, Lizzie Van Schindel, she's come into this race as an under 23, put some great laps in and made the main event. Gate number 6, Marie Favrel out of France, already made main events in Sarrions. She'll be looking for a strong result here in round number 3. And making her very first under-23 World Cup final, the smile says it all for Sienna Harvey. Renske van Sanfort of the Netherlands in that familiar orange kit. She's in gate number 4. Gate 3 from Colombia, Sharid Nicole Fayed Mercado. Gate 2 from Slovakia on the 518, it is Dominika Manikova. And on the inside, gate number 1, looking to take a World Cup win, it's Lily Greenoff.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
The gate drops on the women under 23 final. Can Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands make it 3 from 3? She's getting herself out in front right now as they head towards the turn. Vissing and Van Sanfort. So it's the Netherlands going 1 and 2. Marie Favrel getting mixed up there. Where is Lily Greenoff? Back there in that 3rd spot at the moment. Sienna Harvey's in about 5th or 6th as they go into that 2nd turn. But Michelle Vissing, the national champion of the Netherlands, in control in this one. Being pursued by Renske van Sanfort. It's going to be a Netherlands 1 and 2 in the women under 23. Vissing takes the win. Van Sanfort for 2. Lily Greenoff rounds off the podium with Marie Favrel in 4. Is anybody going to stop Michelle Vissing?
I think the answer to that at the moment is going to be absolutely nobody, because she is absolutely flying. Went from a cross once again. She picked that, and that means she's going to extend her lead at the top of the standings. A fantastic race from her. Marie Favrel, 3rd in the series coming into this. She's put down another good ride in there, coming through to take 4th place in the race. Just waiting for that to be confirmed, but looks good. Greenoff taking good points as well as Van Sanfort there. And Sienna Harvey, good ride from her, taking 6th place in the end. She's been up at 5th, challenging for 4th at one stage. When it came to it, though, Michelle Vissing really did show why she is so good, because she's out on the side there. She didn't panic. It was getting a little bit close coming in as they came off the triples up, which is now a double. That last technical section going into that turn, she didn't panic. She knew she got just enough, and then she just kept on going.
Yeah, you don't select gate 8 at Papendal unless you're feeling fully confident that you can get the job done. And I think the confidence is absolutely flowing out of Michelle Vissing right now. Renske van Sanfort did her best to chase her down to the line, had to settle for 2nd. Lily Greenoff will be stoked with a 3rd. Favrel in there in 4th. And Sienna Harvey was only a fraction from a top 5.
So big winners here today in the women's under 23. Well, Michelle Vissing definitely taking that away. Some of the rest of the riders too. But there was only one winner here today, Michelle Vissing. And we can hear from her now.
Michelle, many congratulations. That's 3 wins out of 3 this season in the World Cups. How pleased are you with that and how today's gone for you?
Yeah, I'm really happy again. Made a 3-time win. Yeah, really happy.
And you did it today from gate 8. We've seen someone else that you might know here, Nick Keeman, your countryman. He's done that before in the past. Talk us through the thought process of starting in gate 8.
Yeah, I was choosing lane 8. Then I can do my gate and my speed after the first job. And yeah, it works.
And one answer, please, for our Dutch viewers about today's victory and also how you've come through to take that win today.
Bedankt iedereen voor het aanmoedigen. Ook bedankt aan mijn familie die is komen kijken. Heel erg bedankt.
Thank you very much.
Well, fantastic to hear from Michelle Vissing, and a word for the Netherlands as well. No surprise, particularly here on the home track in Papendal. Very, very dominant performances in the under-23 in the men's and in the women's racing, with two riders in the top two in both the men's and women's. And we can see our under-23 women receiving their flowers here. A third place for Lily Greenough, who continues to get hold of that podium. You can see there Renske van Sanfort, great ride by her, takes second place. Van Sanfort going on to the podium after getting a fourth place at round number one. But Michelle Vissing, 3 from 3 for the Netherlands champion. Another rider who we're going to be looking to see, will it end? Will she finish with all 6 wins? That would be a remarkable performance. So that's our under 23 finals done and dusted. So let's move on to the UCI BMX Racing World Cup here in Papendal. Round number 3, the elite finals. We're going to kick off with the men's elite final here as the sun continues to beat down. The men's elite racing has been frantic so far. We've seen some real surprises. We've got riders missing from in the previous rounds. Arthur Pielad notably going out.
Yeah, Arthur Pielad went out in the quarterfinals. A big shock for the winner of round number 1, and he had a podium in round number 2. So his points total will be dented from round number 3, but I'm sure he'll be back for more in round 4 as we watch Alexander Katishev walking up the hill, followed by Cameron Wood and Mitchell Shotman. He'll be absolutely delighted to have made the final here in front of the home fans. He'll be looking for a big, big performance.
Well, Sylvain Andre left it all to do in his semi-final, coming through lastminute.com. Really was pushing the envelope, threw it over the line, did it all on that last straight. That means, of course, that his gate pick maybe not to his choosing here at Papendal on the 8-metre high start hill. The riders due to take the start: Rico Behrman, Isaac Kennedy, Alexander Katishev, Cameron Wood, Mitchell Shotman, Sylvain Andre, Eddie Clotet and Jamie O'Brink. The 8 riders due to line up at the top of that hillside. And of those, Mitchell Shotman and Jamie O'Brink, 2 Netherlands riders in here. They've seen 1-2 in the under-23 women's and men's. Can they do a 1-2?
It's possible, but it's going to be tough. Very much so. From going from the outside in an elite men final is a whole different way of doing things. But Jamie O'Brink will be hoping for a great result. Mitchell Shotman there in the middle. It's kind of like he's had a rough kind of couple of years, and now he's kind of made the final here at Papendal. He'll be absolutely buzzing. The confidence will be flowing, but he's still got the likes of Rico Behrman and the reigning World Cup champion Isaac Kennedy. Isaac will have one eye on the prize already. He'll be wanting just to get that win to add to the 2 podiums that he had in Sarrions.
And I think that's really one of those things. It's that extra motivation, isn't it? He knows that there's a good chance now. You've got Pielad, who took the win in round 1 and second in round number 2, missing now. It's going to make a difference. And Isaac Kennedy is a rider who we know will have been back. He'll have been focused on making sure he gets this absolutely right. But right on the outside, Jamie O'Brink accelerated up through, had a great round 2, it's another great round 3. This is going to do his point score a huge amount of good.
Yeah, he'll do him great guns. As we see Eddie Clerté in lane 7 and Sylvain Andre, the winner of round number 2, he's in gate 6. Gate 5, he'll get some serious noise from the home fans. That's going to be Mitchell Shotman out of the Netherlands. Gate 4, winner of the USA BMX Pro Series last year, that is Cameron Wood of the USA. Gate 3, the neutral athlete, it's Alexander Katishev. Gate 2, the reigning World Cup champion, already had 2 podiums in the first 2 rounds, it's Isaac Kennedy. And right there on the inside, the national champion of New Zealand. Can he take the win here and follow in the footsteps of Mark Willers in 2011? It's Rico Behrman.
Right. Okay, riders, random start. Rider is ready. Watch the gate.
It's go time for the elite men. Who's going to win round number 3 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup? Looks like Kennedy's first into the turn. It's Kennedy, and I've got a feeling that might be Mitchell Shotman in there as well as they go down towards the second corner. Cameron Wood's in there in 3, and Kennedy still holding on to it. It's Jamie O'Brink actually in that second spot. So Brink making his move now on Isaac Kennedy as they come towards the final corner. The crowd are going absolutely wild. Oh, Kennedy's gone over. Brink's gone as well. That's going to leave Rico Bierman to steal it away. He has a quick look. Bierman takes it. Mitchell Shotman for 2. Sylvain Andre for 3. Isaac Kennedy was right there for the win. Over the front in the corner. Drama, drama, drama. I can't wait to break that one down in more detail.
The speed that they came in there, I mean, they were so hot coming in. They were side by side battling there. You could just see Jamie O'Brink was piling on the pressure. You could see the pressure coming on. And the response came, didn't it? Isaac Kennedy responded to, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 down, down, down. Everybody skittled. And Bierman, you know, it's survival to finish first. First, you got to finish, and he did that. He came in ahead of Shotman. I mean, Shotman's ride, great ride by him. Sylvain Andre, he salvaged 3rd place somewhere by threading the needle there and getting through. Let's watch this back again.
I mean, this first straight of Isaac Kennedy's couldn't have been any better. He got an absolute flyer. He had Cameron Wood right there next to him, and as they came into the turn, he took that whole shot away. Eddie Clerté just getting pushed a little bit higher as they came out of the turn, and Isaac Kennedy was, you know, out in front with Jamie O'Brink right there on his heels as they came into the turn. Alexander Katishev was in 5, but it was as they came to the final corner. The pressure was coming from Jamie O. The back wheel skipped away from Isaac Kennedy. That took him down. Caught up Jamie O'Brink as he got pushed high up the turn. That took Cameron Wood as well. Meanwhile, Rico Bierman swerved round the carnage. Took the win to be the first New Zealand Elite Men winner since Mark Willers in 2011. Amazing action.
So 14 years later, Rico Bierman does the business here ahead of Mitchell Shotman, Sylvain Andre. Well, it's going to be close on the points as they've made their way in over the line, but I think Sylvain Andre should have enough to take away top spot. But after the transition from the under-23 into the elites last year, let's hear from your race winner, Rico Bierman.
Rico, many congratulations, World Cup Round 3 winner here in Papendal. There are many ways to win a BMX race. That was quite chaotic in the last bend, in the last straight. Just talk us through it from your perspective.
Yeah, obviously it's not the way you want to win. You want to win it fair and square, but you got to be in the mix to win it. And unfortunately, my buddy Isaac was out front winning and slid out. But hey, I was in the mix and I put myself in the position to win, and I did, so got it done.
Talk to us about that mental agility that you've got to have in order to navigate a situation like that.
To be honest with you, I actually got no clue. I just seen it go down and just turned the corner, and there I was in front, and just held on to the finish line.
A couple of years ago, you were the under-23 overall World Cup champion. You've had a couple of years now in the senior ranks. It's your first win. How do you feel you've adjusted to this level now?
You know, it's a huge jump. Under-23 is a whole different game, and it's not easy down there, but it's a lot different up here, and you've got to be on top of your game every lap to get it done in an elite.
Well, so many congratulations on your first senior elite World Cup win.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, really good to hear from Rico Bierman there, taking away the win, his first senior win. He had a storming season when he took away the win in the under-23 overall. Great set of results from him. And after that, transition has come across and has done the business and taken a long-awaited win. And I don't think he should do himself down at all, because that was a phenomenal ride to come through when everything is on the limit. Taking away 3rd place, well, Sylvain Andre takes 3rd place here for France. Taking 2nd place, Mitchell Shotman of the Netherlands. Taking top spot and on centre stage, it is Rico Bierman from New Zealand taking away the win in round number 3. We've had a different winner at every single round in the men's elite series so far. It's going to leave the points down to a calculator to calculate, not myself with a piece of paper and a pencil, but by my reckoning, Sylvain Andre could well nab top spot in the series. We'll have to wait and see. Let's move across to the UCI BMX Racing World Cup, round number 3, women's elite final here in Papendal in the Netherlands. And what a start list we have. Remember, of course, that we have seen wins in the previous rounds from Zoe Claessens, who has made the final, but Molly Simpson not making the final, winning the last round.
Yeah, tough run for Molly Simpson, not making it in this time around in the final, but one rider who has made it in is Saya Sakakibara. She's going to be looking to regain that lead in the overall standings, but it's not without the presence of the likes of Laura Smulders, Malin Kelstrup, Manon Veenstra, Judy Bow, who took a win here in 2019, and Lauren Reynolds is in the mix as well, so a truly international lineup. We've got 3 Australians in there. But there's no guarantee on who's going to win this Women Elite final. We've got to wait for another lap.
And Zoe Claessens has got to be thinking, now is my chance to go back on top. She took the win in round number 1, then 6th in that final in round number 2. She scores good points here. She'll go over the top of Molly Simpson, who 6:45 points in front of her. It's not a huge gap.
It's not a huge gap. As we look at Taya Rufus in gate number 8 for Australia. Judy Bow of the Netherlands, just coming back from injury. She's there in gate number 7. Wants to give the home fans something to shout about. Gate 6 already had a win in Sarrions this season. It's the European champion. It is Zoe Claessens. Gate number 5, Olympic medalist, also out of the Netherlands. On the 61 plate, it's Manon Veenstra. Gate 4, for Denmark, the 2022 Women Under-23 World Champion, Malin Kelstrup. And for Australia, in gate number 3, it is Lauren Reynolds. Gate 2, also out of Australia, it's Saya Sakakibara. And gate number 1, looking for her 7th win on the track here at Papendal and her 28th World Cup win overall, it's Laura Smulders. The Women Elite Final is ready to go as we await the starter's call.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Women Elite heading down the hill. Smulders and Sakakibara have got a great start as they head towards the first turn. Is Laura Smulders going to pick up the whole shot? Here comes Zoe Claessens as well. Smulders, I think, has just got a nose out in front. So Laura Smulders, will this be World Cup win number 28, World Cup win number 7 on this track here at Papendal? If it happens, the crowd are going to go absolutely mental. Sakakibara in there in 2, Claessens in 3, Kelstrup in 4, Manon Veenstra holding on for 5, but Laura Smulders, World Cup win 28, takes it. Win number 7 at Papendal, Laura Smulders. Absolute delight for the Dutch fans, and that is going to be a very, very popular win.
Just delete the word Dutch, because I think that's a very popular win for the fans everywhere, because it's great to see when a rider returns on top form, and she's gone and done it here today. What a ride there by Laura Smulders, taking away top stop. Zoe Claessens was in and battling, and it looked like she just stalled and lost speed. She ended up coming through over the line in 3rd place, with Saya Sakakibara trying to hunt down Smulders, but you can see the emotion. She's done this so many times. I'm sure she never gets tired of this.
No, not at all. It's been a while since Laura's, picked up a World Cup win, even though she's had 27 in her career, now 28. But if you'd have asked her what kind of lap she wanted in the final, I think she would have told you this one, bar that little case as she went over the triple into the turn. Made her experience count, didn't give Saya Sakakibara enough room to work her way in there. And she had 3 or 4 bike lengths at that point as they went down the 3rd straight. Zoe Claessens was looking good in 3, Malin Kelstrup in 4. And there's Simone Christiansen, former rider in the World Cup, watching her good friend Laura Smulders take it to the line. Laura in 1, and that's where everybody loves to see it. And look at that smile. Laura Smulders, your winner of round 3 of the World Cup here in Papendal.
So Laura Smulders taking away race win. Here's Saya Sakakibara in 2nd, Zoe Claessens in 3rd. Malin Kelstrup chasing all the way, really battling to take that 4th place. The Danish rider not able, though, to move up into a top 3 behind Kelstrup. Veenstra in 5th, Rufus in 6th, and Bow in 7th, with Reynolds going across the line in 8th place. But quite rightly, you can see Laura Smulders there really revelling in that. Saya Sakakibara's done a good job here because she's gone above Zoe Clayson, so she scored more points than her, but Clayson's was above her in the standings. There's only about 32 points between them, so it's going to be very, very close at the end of this. Who's going to be taking away top spot from the halfway point, which is the end of our racing here today, which is where we're at, and then moving onwards. So we're going to hear from our race winner very shortly, I'm sure. We'll be getting them ready. Laura Small, there's no newbie when it comes to putting words to what she's just done, but that's a huge number of race wins. Now, you can see the official result in front of you. Laura Smulders taking away the race win in 34.426 seconds, just ahead of Saya Sakakibara and Zoe Clayson. They're going to round out your top 3, and they'll be on our podium very shortly indeed. Good point score there for the rest of the riders, and don't forget you can pick up all of those standings on www.uci.org. Okay, if you want any of the race rules or any of the format of the racing, you can pick up that on the website as well. Or even better, get yourself down to your local track, get yourself down to your local club and jump on board. You never know. You might not be the next rider who's going to get 28 World Cup victories. I wonder what it feels like. Let's find out. Let's hear from Laura Smulders. She's down at interview.
Laura, many congratulations. Today is your 28th World Cup win, but this one looked a bit special. It's been a while since we've seen you finish first. Talk to us about how special this one is for you.
I don't even know what to say. It's been a long time, and I knew I could still do it. I just needed to prove myself, and it feels so good.
So to be clear, you've doubted your abilities over a period of time. But what will this do to allay those doubts?
A lot. That definitely gives a confidence boost. Last week I felt fast enough, but just couldn't do it out the gate. And of course, staying at home is so nice, my home track, and it just feels comfortable. But then having the crowd and all these fast girls, it's so hard to win these days. So this, feels so good.
And you had to fend off 2 of the fastest girls, Saya Sakakibara in the final straight and the turn, and also Zoe Classes before that out at the first bend. Talk to us about how you managed to do that.
I was sitting in gate 1, and they're announcing everyone. Bronze medal, silver medal, gold medal next to me. And I'm just thinking, wow, gotta get out. These girls can ride bikes. So, no, it's great racing them, and I really love racing, but I love winning more.
Laura, please, for our Dutch viewers and for the fans here in Papendal, a few words in Dutch about today's win, what it means to you, and about how good it is to get back on top of the podium.
Ja, geen woorden voor. Het is heel speciaal om hier te mogen fietsen op Papendal. Thuisbaan. Geeft een beetje extra druk, maar ook een soort van comfort. En het is een paar jaar geleden, 2022 was mijn laatste winst op het wereldbekercircuit. Het zijn mijn favoriete wedstrijden. En ik ben blij dat ik het nu weer heb kunnen laten zien thuis voor iedereen.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, they may have been saying medalist here, medalist there, but you don't give those rainbow bands out for nothing that are around her neck, able to wear those forever. I tell you something, she shouldn't doubt herself, because that was a phenomenal performance. And it shows you, doesn't it? You just got to, she knew she could do it. She needs to keep faith in herself. She did that, and she's absolutely nailed it here today. And she takes away top spot. A fantastic result. So let's see our top 3 riders here today. A fantastic race, and incredibly quick. A rising tide lifts all ships, and I'll tell you something, they're all going faster. It is the European champion. Zoe Clayson is taking away 3rd place for Switzerland. Taking 2nd place, it's Sakakibara from Australia. But Laura Smulders is your race winner at round number 3 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup for 2025 here at Papendal. What a result for her, what a result for the riders. It's going to make things interesting at the top of the series standings as we hit that halfway point in the 6th round series. Remember, round 4, we're here in Papendal. The riders have to do it all over again, but with extra racing in their legs. A fantastic days of racing. It's been quick, it's been fast. We'll have to find out how fast that is a little bit later on. But what a day of racing we've had.
Right, just checking out some of the fastest laps of the day, and the fastest one in the women under 23 final came from Michelle Vissing, 34.534. A dominant performance for the rider who's won all 3 of the rounds here in the World Cup Series, 2 in Sarrions, 1 here in Papendal. Perfect scores for Michelle Vissing, and she showed exactly why in this final. A 34.534 second lap time set in the finals. Michelle Vissing, she has speed, she has talent, she has style, and she's made it pay here in the home of Dutch BMX.
Well, if you're going to pull out a fast lap, pull it out in the final, make it count. Vissing did just that in our under 23 women's competition. We moved across, though, more fast laps to come.
Yeah, more fast laps, and as Laura Smulders headed down through that first straight and into the first turn, she also set the fastest lap of the competition, 33.748. Ironically, in the semi-finals, not in the finals. So it's Laura Smulders who takes that fastest lap of the day. But it was the fast lap that got her into the finals. It got her the gate pick. She knew where she needed to be, and she took full advantage, but she couldn't take full advantage without the fastest lap of the day. A 33.748 coming across the line in those semi-finals.
And not as pushed in the final, didn't need to get that gate selection, so could maybe enjoy that final straight just that little bit more. And that can be the difference between having that fastest lap and the second or third fastest lap. So the women's fastest laps done and dusted. On to the men.
Yeah, men under 23. The final saw the fastest lap of the day at Jason Nordam, 34.193, and it was an action-packed final for all the right reasons. It's giving us everything that BMX fans absolutely love. You know, as Matisse Jacquet was flying down that straight, we honestly thought that the first fastest lap of the day might have come to him until we got to the final corner and the action unfolded, and it was Jason Nordam who took full advantage. And yeah, he took the fastest lap of the day, 34.193.
So interesting to see these fast lap times keep coming in, and it's very, very interesting the differences that we see between the tracks. Jamie O'Brink, another very quick lap, and interesting the volume of riders from the Netherlands who are putting in these fast laps.
Yeah, they spend so much time working on this track here at Papendal. They know it like the proverbial back of their hand, but that's the advantage that you get at a home World Cup. And Jamie O'Brink in that men's elite semi-final, 34.071. I wouldn't be surprised to find out if it might have been a personal best for him as well. It would not come as a shock. The speed he came in and out of that final turn, and he did enough to get himself into the final. Jamie O'Brink of the Netherlands, 34.071 for the fastest lap of the day.
So great to see just how quick it is, and that 34.01 by O'Brink, enough to take that men's elite. Nordam, Schmolders and Vissing also with the fastest laps in their respective categories, and that of course a really key moment when it comes down to the racing. It's all about being fast and getting over that line. Some amazing racing here today, Rich, and some great performances. Australia maybe not getting it as much all their own way as we maybe would have seen. We've seen the Netherlands very, very dominant. Some incredible race action, and we've seen riders really show that they are here and really are maybe that almost next generation in terms of riders like Vissing and Nordam.
Yeah, Vissing and Nordam, you know, leading the Dutch charge. You know, the sun was shining on our crowd here at Papendal, and the sun was certainly shining on our Dutch athletes as Michelle Vissing crossed that line. Jason Nordam as well, he'll be happy. The sun's orange, the winners are orange. It doesn't get any better than that.
Laura Smulders, what a result for her. An absolutely record-breaking, you know, absolutely doing the business here today. She had a smooth run compared to that men's final. I could see Rico Beerman take away a win after, you know, it's not being in the wilderness, but that transition time from under 23 into elite.
Yeah, it's hard to go from under 23 to elite. Like as Rico said, it's such a big jump. But he's certainly handled it very, very well, and the results will start to come as we move along.
As he said, you can't have a bad lap. Now, We are at the halfway point of the season, Rich. That is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So we've reached the halfway stage of the season. We've done 2 sets of races, 2 rounds in Sarrion. We've come to Papendal in the men's under-23 competition. Jason Nodham has extended his lead. Jesse Asmus, despite having issues, holds on because Pikanowski didn't have a smooth run, neither did Jacquet. And Geese moving his way up solidly as well. But the big winner really, Nodham. Big points gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Nodham extending his points lead. 3 wins from 3. He won't be disappointed with that, as will Michelle Vissing.
Michelle Vissing at top of the standings in the women's under-23, but Marie Favrel holding that top 3 position and moving up. Lily Greenough moving up as well in that women's under-23. In the men's elite, Sylvain Andre has done enough indeed to go over the top of Arthur Pillard. Isaac Kennedy holding a top 3 position with Wood in there. Beerman moving up, as has Brink, and Jamie O'Brink continues to hold the top 10 after today's result. In the women's elite standings, Sayaka Kakibara at the top of the standings. She's done it the hard way. She's ahead of Zoe Claysons, ahead of Molly Simpson, who didn't make that final. Smulders rocketing up the standings. 1 or 2 riders dropping a little bit, but not too far. What an amazing day. This has been round number 3. We're going to be back with round number 4 from Papendal. I hope you're going to join us for that. Enjoy your bike riding, but from Rich and me, stay safe, have fun. We'll see you soon.
Goodbye.